Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Hey, listen, I took a bunch of phone calls today from FFLs. They all had the same question, and I gave them all the same answer. And so what I figured I'd do with this video here is give you all that question, give you all that answer, not only to help all the FFLs out statewide, but to prepare some of you for some bad news so that you're not in there having a meltdown, throwing a fit on our friends in the FFL industry. So I do have a little bad news to share. I'm going to interpret a law for you, and I'm going to explain why. So let's spend a couple minutes a day and talk about, now that Washington has an assault weapon ban, what happens if I'm in the middle of my 10-day waiting period? Okay, so the issue we're talking about today is, once again, House Bill 1240. Some of you, as you know, may have gone out at the last minute. You didn't heed all the videos I did in December and January and February about going out and stocking up. No, you decided to do it at the last minute. And now, lo and behold, you've caught yourself in this horrible situation where you paid for everything. You did your 4473. But as we know, under RCW 9.41.092, when we're buying a semi-automatic rifle, we have a mandatory 10 business day waiting period. And actually, if you look at the statute, it requires approval on the NICS check. So oftentimes it takes longer than 10 business days. What happens if you completed all the paperwork, bought your gun, filled out your 4473, you're just waiting, and in the meantime, while you're waiting for that 10-day waiting period to expire, god dang, Governor Inslee's come along and banned assault weapons. Can that FFL still transfer you that firearm? Now listen, I did a video where I talked about the difference between selling, distributing, and transferring, but that got me in a lot of hot water, got the FFLs all worked up. I pulled the video down and I ended up doing this video. But here's the bottom line, and I have said this to every single FFL that I have spoken to today so far, and that is, when they ask me, when this background check clears and they come back, can I still deliver the firearm to them? And my answer has been, in every situation, no, you may not. And the reason you may not is, as we know, under House Bill 1240, now enacted into legislation, it is unlawful to sell, offer for sale, manufacture, or distribute any assault weapon. Now, most of our semi-automatic rifles are going to be characterized now as unlawful assault weapons. So before, when we looked at distribute, what we'd actually have to do is go to Title 69, Title 69.50 exactly, where we find all the drug laws. We don't have those anymore, but when we used to have drug laws, we could actually take a look at what it was to engage in the act of distribution. Now, House Bill 1240, which some of you may not know, actually now includes a new statutory definition of distribute, which has gone into RCW 9.41.010, and now the definition of distribute. And this is what I want the FFLs to be aware of. This is what I want all of you to be aware of, because it is unlawful to distribute an assault weapon. The definition of distribute is as follows. Distribute means to give out, provide, make available, or deliver a firearm or large capacity magazine to any person in this state, with or without consideration, whether the distributor is in state or out of state. Distribute includes, but is not limited to, filling orders placed in this state, online or otherwise. Distribute also includes causing a firearm or large capacity magazine to be delivered in this state. And so in typical Bob Ferguson, Jay Inslee fashion, they have written a very broad definition which encapsulates almost all type of activity and transactions that could take place in the FFL industry. And I can assure you, because I have had this private conversation with numerous FFLs, when they ask me, do I believe that that is a violation of law? Unfortunately, the answer I have to give them is yes, that is a violation of our new assault weapon ban. I'm not saying it's a good law. I'm not saying it's constitutional law. I'm not saying it's proper. But our job here at Washington Gun Law is to show you where all the lines are so you can decide whether you want to scribble inside or outside. So to all the FFLs out there, I know you got people who are probably exactly in the situation. Can you deliver that firearm once their NICS checks comes back? My advice to you is no. Now, here's the other piece of advice, and I want to give this to everybody, FFLs and potential customers. Okay, what should you do in that situation? I would encourage the FFL to hang on to the firearm, because I have a good faith belief, I really do, that we're going to end up with an injunction on this law. And the minute that law is enjoined, which means it's not being enforced anywhere in the state of Washington, well, then you can go ahead and deliver those firearms to the people once their background checks have cleared. So I would continue to proceed on the background checks. If cleared, I would notify the customer, let them know exactly what's going on, why it's going on, tell them all to say a prayer for an injunction. And the minute that law is enjoined, get those firearms distributed. Why do I say that? Well, because it's high likelihood that if a court grants an injunction, Bob Ferguson is going to piss his pants and he's going to stampede to Olympia and try to get an emergency order from the Washington State Supreme Court to lift that injunction. It will take multiple days to get down there and get it done. And during that time, that's when you can make the transfer. So, bottom line is can you deliver the firearm to them once the background check comes back now that Jay Inslee has signed House Bill 1240? My answer is no, I do not. I believe that is an unlawful distribution and likely to land you in trouble. If you have any other questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to contact Washington Gun Law by now. But if you don't, hey, that's okay. All that information is right there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being a lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.